The following video is a parent-staff handbook for Barrington School. Dear families, we want to take this time to welcome you and your children to Barrington School. Our desire is to maintain open communication between our staff and parents. We look forward to working with you to develop a positive relationship. At Barrington School, our mission is to provide children with the highest quality of care and a loving, organic environment where your child's education, nutrition, and learning experiences are the top priority. We will accomplish this by providing wholesome organic meals for breakfast, lunch, and afternoon snack, supporting families by lowering staff and child ratios so needs are met quickly and efficiently, providing several classes each week for your child that promote whole body awareness, coordination, and physical activity, nurturing creativity through sensory experiences and thoughtful lesson plans provided by our teachers, providing all necessities for each child in a clean, comfortable environment, adhering to the requirements of Ohio law. We hope you'll find this handbook useful while getting to know our policies and procedures. Thank you for choosing Barrington School as your child's care provider. Center Parent Information. The center is licensed to operate legally by the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. This license is posted in a noticeable place for review. A toll-free telephone number is listed on the center's license and may be used to report a suspected violation of the licensing law or administrative rules. The licensing rules governing childcare are available for review at the center. The administrator and each employee of the center is required under Section 2151.421 of the Ohio Revised Code to report their suspicions of child abuse or child neglect to the local Public Children's Services Agency. Any parent of a child enrolled in the center shall be permitted unlimited access to the center during all hours of operation for the purpose of contacting their children, evaluating the care provided by the center, or evaluating the premises. Upon entering the premises, the parent or guardian shall notify the administrator of his or her presence. The administrator's hours of availability to meet with the parents and child-staff ratios are posted in a noticeable place in the center for review. The licensing record, including licensing inspection reports, complaint investigation reports, and evaluation forms from the building and fire departments, is available for review upon written request from the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. It is unlawful for the center to discriminate in the enrollment of children upon the basis of race, color, religion, sex, disability, or national origin, or disability in violations with the Americans with Disability Act of 1990. For more information about child care licensing requirements, as well as how to apply for child care assistance, medical aid, health screenings, and early intervention services for your child, please visit jfs.ohio.gov/cdc/families. Program options. Barrington School serves children from the age of 6 weeks through school age. Payment information. Tuition is due according to the terms and conditions established in this handbook. Payments are due on the first of each month. Payments must be made through a designated parent portal using automatic withdrawal from a bank account or credit card. All payments made using a credit card will be processed with a 3% fee. A late payment of $25 per day will be added to all accounts not paid. Unpaid balances delinquent for 5 days will result in disenrollment. No tuition credits will be given for illness, holiday, professional development day, or weather. In the event of an unforeseen event that causes the center facility to be unusable, the center ownership has the ability, but not the duty, to abate the tuition for the period of time the center is unusable. All tuition abatement decisions are at the sole discretion of center ownership and will be determined at the time of the unforeseen event, as each event may have its own unique set of circumstances. Annual registration fee will be due upon enrollment. This fee will be due each year to maintain enrollment. All payments will be applied first to late fees and past due tuition before being applied to current tuition. A charge of $1 per minute per child will be assessed to parents who leave their children beyond your center's closing time. Along with the $1 per minute, there will also be an additional $15 per child fee charged on the 6th minute. This money will be paid to the staff member responsible for the care of the child or children. We ask that families be out of the building no later than 5 minutes after closing time. Time will be assessed according to the school's attendance records. This fee must be paid prior to drop-off the next business day. Private pay children attending the school for more than 4 hours each day are considered full-time. Children using PFCC will be determined by the county. Some additional fees may be necessary from time to time to cover special events such as in-school activities, for example, field trips or guest speakers. Tuition will automatically increase annually beginning on January 1st each year. If action is necessary to collect past due amounts on your account, in addition to any past due amounts, you shall also be responsible for any and all costs incurred related to such collection, including but not limited to filing fees, court costs, and attorney fees. Vacation credits and first month's deposits are non-refundable. Tuition rates change based on the age of the child, not the classroom in which the child is assigned. Vacations, long-term illnesses, and planned absences. Please notify the center director if your child will be absent from school as soon as practicable. If a child is absent for 5 consecutive business days and we do not hear from you, the child will be withdrawn from the program. Vacations that last 1 week, 5 consecutive days in the same week, may be paid at half tuition. Half tuition for missed week must be paid in advance or the late fee will apply. Vacation fees that are not paid in advance may result in withdrawal. Re-enrollment will depend upon available space and will require the payment of additional registration fee. Parents receiving subsidized childcare must adhere to county and state policies regarding absent days. Failure to comply with county and state policies will result in additional fees and/or withdrawal from the school. Families will receive a maximum of 2 weeks of half tuition vacation time annually. Child record requirements for a licensed child care center, 5101-212-15 of the Ohio Administrative Code. Children's records shall be confidential but shall be available to the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services for the purpose of administering Chapter 5104 of the Revised Code and Chapters 5101-212 of the Administrative Code. The immunization records shall be subject to review by the Ohio Department of Health for disease outbreak control and for immunization level assessment purposes. Late child pickup. If a parent realizes that circumstances beyond their control are going to delay pickup, a phone call is requested. This is important as many children fear they have been forgotten when parents do not arrive at their usual time. A charge of $1 per minute per child will be assessed to parents who leave their children beyond your center's closing time. Along with the $1 per minute, there will also be an additional $15 per child fee charged on the 6th minute. This money will be paid to the staff member responsible for the care of the child or children. We ask that families be out of the building no later than 5 minutes after closing time. Please remember that our staff are anxious to get home on time to their families and commitments. Time will be assessed according to the school's attendance system. This fee is to be paid by drop-off the next day. We will make every effort to contact the child's parents and/or guardians and emergency contacts. After 30 minutes of no contact past closing time, local authorities will be contacted. Child to staff ratios. Barrington School will maintain ratios put in place by the Ohio Department of Job and Family Services. However, Barrington School wishes to provide a higher level of quality care. Therefore, we will maintain lower ratios than the minimum required by the state of Ohio. We will strive to maintain the following ratios: 1 to 4 infants, 1 to 5 toddler, 1 to 8 preschool, 1 to 10 pre-K, 1 to 12 kindergarten enrichment, and 1 to 14 school age. Ratios may be doubled for children 18 months or older during nap time if all children are on their cots and nap time does not exceed 2 hours in a 24-hour period. The chart below shows the state ratios. Infants less than 12 months is 1 to 5 or 2 to 12. Infants 12 months to 18 months is 1 to 6 or 2 to 12. Toddlers 18 months to 30 months is 1 to 7. Toddlers 30 to 36 months is 1 to 8. Preschool 3 years is 1 to 12. 4 to 5 years not yet in kindergarten is 1 to 14. And school age, which is kindergarten through 12 years, is 1 to 18. The column on the right shows the maximum group size. Infants can have no more than 12 students in one group. Toddlers is 14 from 18 months to 30 months. From 30 to 36 months, they may have up to 16 students in one group. Preschool ages 3 to 4 may have 24 students. Ages 4 to 5 can have 28 students. And school agers can have 36 students in one group. During the week, we may have special guest teachers for activities like music, yoga, sports, and dance. Throughout the year, we will have visitors like puppeteers, musicians, jugglers, animals, etc. The following charts show an example schedule of our daily routine. The schedules do vary based on each classroom, teacher, and students. Hours of operation and holidays. Each school's operating hours can be found on page 25 of this handbook, listed under school locations. All location hours are subject to change. Any changes will be announced via our parent communication app. We are closed for the following 8 days each year: New Year's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, the day after Thanksgiving, Christmas Eve, and Christmas Day. If the closure occurs on a Saturday, we will close on the Friday previous. Should the day fall on a Sunday, we will close on the following Monday. The schools will close early on New Year's Eve at 2:30 p.m. The schools will also be closed 2 days per year for professional development training for our staff. The 2 dates will be announced in advance. Full tuition is due for the weeks in which these holidays fall. The number of times the school will be closed is kept to a minimum. Parents will be given advance notice in the event that the school needs to be closed for other reasons. In the extremely rare circumstance when we are forced to close or delay opening, it will be announced through our electronic parent communication program. Enrolling in the program. Enrollment process. Before the first day of enrollment, you must pay all appropriate fees, complete all forms in the enrollment packet. In addition, the child's medical statement must be provided to the school on the appropriate form no later than 30 days after enrollment and yearly thereafter. By the appropriate age, all students must have the Center for Disease Control and Prevention routine immunizations. Barrington School adheres to the requirements of OAC 5101-215, 16, and 25 regarding child record requirements, emergency health-related plans and medical administration, food supplements, and medical foods. If your child has a health condition or disability, we will make every effort to meet your child's needs. The school director will meet with you and your child's teacher to discuss the condition. A healthcare plan will be developed to train and inform our staff members of any procedures, warning signs, and emergency actions that should be taken. If emergency medication is required for your child, Barrington School must have the medication on site at all times. Barrington School will refuse care without your child's emergency medication. This includes, but is not limited to, asthma, allergies, seizure, and developmental disorders. Any change to the enrollment information must be communicated to the school director immediately to ensure current information is always on file. This is for the safety of your child. All information regarding your family is kept confidential within our school staff. There is a yearly registration fee of $75 for each child or $125 for each family. This fee is due upon enrollment and annually in January. This fee is non-refundable. Barrington School families agree that the staff members will not directly or through another company from date of employment through 1 calendar year from the date of the staff member's termination date provide child care consulting, care, or services to any of Barrington School's children. All conversations related to enrolled or disenrolled children, families, staff, or Barrington School is considered confidential and may not be discussed in person, via social media, email, or any other method. Non-custodial parents and custodial situations. Barrington School shall be provided a certified copy of any court order applicable to a child enrolled at Barrington School, including but not limited to parenting, custody, or protection orders. A parent of a child enrolled at Barrington School who is not the child's custodial parent will be given the same rights as the custodial parent unless there is court documentation limiting access and conditions of the non-custodial parent on file at the school. If custody or court papers are on file at Barrington School, they will be strictly followed unless the custodial parent requests a more liberal variation of the court order in writing. If there are court papers in the child's school file that deny or limit the non-custodial parent or guardian's rights to visitation, we cannot release the child. Staff will call the custodial parent and report the circumstances. If the parent insists or is threatening the staff, we will call 911. Disenrolling your child. When transferring to another Barrington School, there will not be an additional registration fee. All records will also be transferred by Barrington School. Prior to disenrollment, we require every family to give us at least a 4-week written notice. We also request that you provide us with the reason for disenrolling, for example, moving or changing jobs. If the 4-week notice is not given, the family agrees to pay the 4-week tuition fee prior to withdrawal. In the event your child is absent for reasons of his or her health, the tuition is due and payable for such days the child does not attend the school. Disenrollment policy. Barrington School reserves the right to disenroll any child whose behavior creates a risk of harm to the health and safety of other children or staff members. Example of disenrollment reasons: non-payment of fees, custody struggles that interfere with the program, any harmful behavior that would jeopardize the health and safety of our children and or staff members. Arrival and departure of your child. For the safety of your child and security reasons, there are certain regulations governing the arrival and departure of each child. All schools are equipped with a keypad entry system to ensure that only those persons with access entry code can enter the building. Parents will be given a code to enter during the regular operating hours of the school. The entry code will be changed periodically to ensure security. Parents are not permitted to give the code to other persons picking up your child on an infrequent basis. Please have authorized people ring the bell and present their ID for verification. Do not prop open the doors of the building. Do not hold open the door for others entering the building. Please notify us of any person that you observe acting in a suspicious manner or loitering. Parents or guardians must accompany the child or children into the school, accompany the child or children to the classroom, allow enough time to assist their children in starting their day, notify the staff member that your child is arriving and departing. Children may not enter the building without a parent or guardian. Once a parent or guardian has picked up the child from their classroom, they are no longer in the care of Barrington School. Please do not take your child from the classroom until a staff member in charge has seen you and knows that the child is leaving. Barrington School discourages parents from leaving without saying goodbye to their child. This is frightening for young children. Please allow a few extra minutes to transition your child into the program. If someone else is picking up the child other than the parent or guardian, they must be listed on the authorized pickup list. Individuals must be listed on the pickup list by parents in advance. This cannot be done over the phone or by email. Show a picture ID, preferably a driver's license. Staff members will not release children to anyone, including parents who appear to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Emergency contacts will be called to transport the child home. Police will be notified if necessary. When you are dropping off or picking up children at the school, you cannot leave your car running or leave children unattended in the car. Please note that parking is not allowed in any area not designated for parking or in fire lanes. All vehicles must park in designated parking spaces, and handicapped spaces are reserved for vehicles with properly displayed handicap license plates or placards. Children are never to be in the parking lot area unattended. Curriculum. It is the goal of Barrington School to provide a curriculum framework where your children will be able to explore and learn. We help children become independent thinkers, self-motivated learners, and work well with others. We do this by creating an environment rich in language and exploration that will guide children's growth in all areas. We believe that the experiences your child will receive in our classrooms will last a lifetime. Barrington School's curriculum is guided by age-appropriate learning standards. The State Board of Education adopted Ohio's Early Learning and Development Standards in all domains of school readiness to reflect the comprehensive development of children beginning at birth to kindergarten entry. Our staff members plan daily lessons based on child assessments to meet the needs of each individual learner. Staff members plan activities that focus intentional learning in the following areas: social and emotional, language, cognitive, literacy, mathematics, science and technology, social studies, and arts. Through planned experiences and careful structure of the classroom environment, we will give your child a successful start toward their school career. Look what we did today. Do you ask your child what they did today and frequently hear nothing? Each day, the staff member will post photos and the classroom activities for the day through a web-based program which is sent to the caregiver's email. This will allow a quick way to check your child's program. This will lead to great conversations on the way home and will help stimulate your child's memory. Staff. We believe that children deserve to have staff members who are capable and caring and whose values enable them to be excellent role models. We are proud of our staff at Barrington School. You will find our staff to be incredibly positive and committed to motivating children to become self-reliant, self-confident, respectful of others, and lifelong learners. The staff members at Barrington School are provided with a variety of training programs to assist their professional development. Anytime a staff member has a general problem, they are to immediately address the issue with their center director. These programs are designed to enhance the abilities of each staff member to care for and educate each child. Transitioning into Barrington School. It is important during big transitions to provide stability and understanding for young children. At Barrington School, we want to make sure your family's first day is successful and exciting. Our directors are eager to meet with the incoming families and are always available to schedule a welcome meeting prior to your family beginning at our school. During the meeting, we will get to know your family, go over your paperwork and any additional information, introduce you to the teachers, tour your family around your child's new classroom, discuss drop-off and pickup procedures, and answer any additional questions you may have. Our classroom teachers will introduce your little one to everyone on their first day of school and will welcome your family into Barrington School. Transitioning out of Barrington School. It is always hard to say goodbye as our teachers and administrators form a strong bond with each child and family within our school. However, if you do make the difficult decision to withdraw from our schools, we want to make the transition as comfortable as possible for you and your family. Our classroom teachers will prepare the children in the class for a final farewell and will help collect artwork and personal belongings. As a final goodbye and thank you, we will send a little something special home with your family. Classroom selection. Classroom assignments and curriculum are based upon each child's age and developmental level. When your child is ready to move to an older class assignment, the staff and/or center director will consult with you prior to the transition. Your child's age, social development, emotional development, and self-care skills will be evaluated prior to the transition. Transitioning to another classroom. Some children are ready to move straight into a new classroom, while others need to be eased in gradually. Children requiring transition time from one classroom to the next shall have a pre-established period of time to gradually become acclimated to their new classroom. This time shall be communicated verbally and in written form with the parents' input. This will be done through a written transitioning form that will include the dates and times. This agreement is between the parent and the staff and will be on file in the office and available in the classrooms. Rest time. All children need a balance of quiet and active experiences throughout the day. If your child does not nap or does not fall asleep after an appropriate amount of time, they will be provided with quiet activities. Every child 12 months and older will be provided with a small blanket that will be stored at the school and washed at the school weekly. Due to limited storage space, we do not allow cot covers, sheets, or pillows for use while at the school. Children will be provided with a cot and infants will be provided with a crib. Once your child is 12 months, you will be asked to sign a permission form to begin the transition from a crib to a cot. Infants cannot have blankets, pillows, or stuffed animals due to safety issues. Children on a cot may bring a small lovey as a comfort item for nap time. Conferences. We schedule parent-teacher conferences twice per year. This will give you the opportunity to discuss your child's program, progress, and any concerns you may have. Because you are at the school several times a week, short discussions can be held between you and your child's teacher about his or her daily progress. For a longer discussion, a conference can be scheduled. Barrington School conducts formal assessments on enrolled children annually, which are completed by the school. Our school reports child-level data to ODJFS pursuant to 5101-21702 of the Administrative Code, as well as to parents. Individual assessments can be assessed through your child's up-to-date curriculum portal. Toileting. It is important that the school have a record of your child's toilet habits. If your child is not yet potty trained, we will provide disposable diapers and wipes of our choice for children ages 6 weeks to 36 months. It is especially important for parents and staff members to be in frequent communication with each other about the child's progress. Barrington School believes in partnerships between home and school. When you feel your child is ready to be potty trained, let the staff know. Our staff will work with your family on developing a plan for school and home. During this process, you will be required to bring multiple outfits, underwear, socks, and extra set of shoes each day. If the school is not provided with extra clothing, we will not be able to facilitate the training process. Clothing. Dress your child in washable, sturdy play clothes for school. We recommend sending children in tennis shoes. Tennis shoes protect toes and feet when on the playground. To prevent injuries, your child must arrive to school in a well-fitting shoe with a closed toe and with a back strap. We will do our best to protect your child's clothing during meals and crafts. However, children play hard and their clothing can become soiled on any given day. No reimbursements will be given for clothing for any reason. An extra set of clothing, well labeled, including underwear, socks, pants, shirt, and shoes, must be left at school in case of accidents. Children may need extra clothing after milk spill, paint, or water spill. We will not borrow clothing from another child. If your child needs to have their clothing changed and you have not provided us with extra change of clothes, you will be called to provide extra clothing. Lost or misplaced items. Please be advised that the Barrington School will not assume responsibility for any lost, misplaced, or damaged personal items brought to the school. We will make every effort to keep those items from getting lost or broken, but we will not offer any kind of reimbursement for lost or damaged property. Please label your child's possessions properly to help us keep track of individual belongings and minimize the number of personal items brought to the school. Field trips. Parents and guardians must fill out the required field trip permission form before the child may participate in the field trip. Barrington School will provide enough staff members to meet the state requirements at all times and to ensure all children will be supervised at all times while on a field trip. Each child will be assigned a specific staff member who will routinely check their attendance to account for all children, especially during times of arrival, departure, and transitioning. We will use the school van or bus for transporting children on field trips. Only children 4 years or older will be transported in the Barrington School's van or bus for field trips. A child must also have completed kindergarten in order to participate in field trips. If there is a body of water present at the site of the field trip, you will be notified. Because of the restrictions surrounding swimming field trips, we will not go to actual swimming pools, but we will still go to water activity areas. Children will not be permitted to be dropped off or picked up from field trip locations. All dropping off and picking up must take place at the school. We will not transport for field trips during a tornado watch. Outdoor play. Research has shown that children stay healthier when they have daily outdoor play. Barrington School has chosen playground equipment especially designed for children's development. Safety surfaces are embedded in the playground, which will absorb falls and cover the portion of the playground underneath the equipment, while hard surface areas are provided for riding toys and ball games. Your child will be supervised very closely while on the playground. Outdoor play is provided each day in suitable weather for children in attendance for 4 or more consecutive daylight hours. Outdoor play will not occur if poor air quality conditions exist, including heat and smog advisories and wind chill. The outdoor temperature feels like 24 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. Outdoor times may be shortened in extreme weather conditions. The school will obtain any weather or safety information from local news and radio broadcasts. When outdoor play is not available, we have a variety of activities available indoors that can include mats for gross motor activities, play and group games, music and movement activities, dance, etc. Every child that is well enough to attend our school must also be well enough to engage in all activities, including outdoor play. It is especially important to make sure your child is prepared with adequate outdoor clothing. This includes keeping a set of gloves and a hat in your child's cubby at all times from September through April. Newsletters. The schools will periodically publish newsletters containing information on activities, parent issues, and other news items. These newsletters will be available to all parents of enrolled children via the designated Parent Communications app. Optional programs. School pictures. Professional photographers will come to the school to take your child's picture. There is no charge for the photo session. The purchase of the photos is optional. Summer camp for school age. Each summer camp child will be given the opportunity to take part in an educational and recreational program. The school will be transporting the school-age children to several recreational as well as educational sites in the metropolitan area. Parents or guardians must fill out the required field trip permission form before the child may participate in the field trip. Parents will be given a schedule for all these activities in advance of the trips. There will be an additional charge for summer camp program. Summer camp fees are non-refundable. Please check with your center director for details. Children and illness at the center. Barrington School adheres to the requirements of OAC 5101-216 regarding emergency and health-related plans and OAC 5101-225 regarding medication administration, food supplements, and medical foods. Barrington School provides children with a clean and healthy environment for all children in attendance, and to do so, we ask that if your child is sick, please keep him or her home until he or she has been treated or symptoms have gone away. If this is your child's first group care experience, it is possible that they may experience more frequent illness at the beginning before their immune system becomes more active. We ask that you not bring sick children to the school. They will be sent home. Please plan ahead and have a backup care plan in place if you are not able to take time off of work or school. Upon arrival at the school, our staff members, as required by ODJFS, observe each child for signs or symptoms of illness. If a sign or symptom is identified, the parent or guardian will be advised prior to leaving the building. Any child or staff member with any of the following signs or symptoms of illness shall be immediately isolated and discharged to his parent or guardian. Temperature of at least 100 degrees Fahrenheit when in combination with any other sign or symptom of illness. Example, lethargic, tired, crying, not acting normal, etc. Diarrhea, 3 or more loose stools, which would be a stool with increased water content and or decreased form in a 24-hour period. Severe coughing causing the child to become red in the face or to make a whooping sound, difficult or rapid breathing, yellowish skin or eyes, redness of the eye or eyelid, thick and purulent pus discharge, matted eyelashes, burning, itching, or eye pain. Untreated infected skin patches, unusual spots or rashes, unusually dark urine and or gray or white stool, sick neck with elevated temperature, evidence of untreated lice, scabies, or other parasitic infestations. Our school has a nip-free policy. Sore throat or difficulty in swallowing, vomiting more than one time when accompanied by any other sign or symptom of illness. When caring for sick children, the school shall isolate the sick child away from other children but within sight and hearing at all times, provide the sick child with a cot or mat or the sick infant with a crib and make comfortable, notify the child's parents immediately if the child's condition worsens, launder bedding and wash toys used by the sick child before use by another child pursuant to Rule 510 and 212.13 of the Administrative Code. Sanitize the thermometer after each use. The school shall follow the Ohio Department of Health Child Care Communicable Disease Chart found in the office for appropriate management of suspected illness. Isolation of a child from the group means removing the child from the room but not out of sight or sound of a staff member. This will be in the center director's office or the staff break room with direct supervision. Children will be readmitted to the school after at least 24 hours of being free of fever and other symptoms. If they are not symptom-free, a doctor's note will be required stating that the child is not contagious. Parents and emergency contacts of sick children need to have children picked up from the school within an hour of being contacted by the center director. In the event of a diagnosed communicable disease, the parents of all other children attending the school will be notified by email. All staff members and children will be taught the proper hand washing methods. General anesthesia policy. Children are not permitted to attend Barrington School until 24 hours after general anesthesia has been administered. Medications that must be administered at Barrington School. Our schools follow Ohio Department of Job and Family Services licensing regulations regarding the administration of medication. The only exception to these rules is that Barrington School does not allow school-age children to keep any medication in their personal belongings. Do not send medications, lotions, or creams in diaper bags, purses, and/or backpacks. All medications, including creams and lotions, must be delivered to the office. Do not leave medications in the classroom with your child's teacher. The center director will help you complete the necessary paperwork and deliver the medication to the classroom if needed. Whenever possible, we ask that medications be given at home. Barrington School will not deliver the first dose of medication in order to ensure no intolerances of medication. All medications, lotions, and creams must have a completed request for administration of medication form. No medication may be in our school without this completed form. Please keep all children safe and reduce the risk of potential harm. We only administer the following medications to your child while in attendance at the school while needed. Topical medications. Barrington School will administer the following topical medications according to manufacturer instructions: diaper rash cream and sunscreen. Diaper cream and other topical products will be used as treatment for 1 week only. We will not apply creams for more than 1 week at a time without proper documentation from a medical provider. We do not apply bug spray. Children can wear bug repellent bands provided the proper documentation is on file, all manufacturer guidelines are followed, and the child comes to school wearing the band. Time-sensitive medications. Barrington School will administer time-sensitive behavior modification medications only as directed by a physician. Medications must be prescribed or have written physician permission on Box 2 of the Request to Administer Medication form. Barrington School will administer as needed during the hours of operation as directed by a physician. Medication will not be administered without permission from a physician. Emergency medications. Barrington School will administer emergency medications such as, but not limited to, inhalers, Diastat, Benadryl, EpiPen, etc. Medication will not be administered without permission from a physician. Medication must be prescribed or have written physician permission. Box 2 of the Request to Administer Medication form. All emergency medications must be on site and adhere to physician's treatment plan. School-age children and inhalers. Barrington School has a policy that school-age children must turn their inhalers into the office upon arrival. There must be appropriate paperwork completed by parent and physician. The children are not permitted to keep the inhalers in their possession while in our schools. Storage of medication. All medication is to be delivered to the center's director's office upon arrival in the school. Medications, fluoride supplements, and food supplements shall be kept in a safe location where children cannot reach them. A medication requiring refrigeration shall be refrigerated immediately upon arrival at the school and shall be stored so as to not contaminate food. Medications will be removed from the school when they are no longer needed or if the label indicates that the medication is expired. Meals and snacks. We feel it is especially important to provide proper nutrition for children to sample different foods. Proteins, grains, fruits, and dairy products are given for breakfast from approximately 8 to 8:30. Children must arrive by 8:20 to be served breakfast. A well-balanced lunch consisting of 1/3 of the daily requirements in the 4 food groups is served for infants and toddlers from 11:30 to 12, and for preschools and school age 11:45 to 12:15. A nutritious snack is served in the afternoon from at least 2 of the 4 food groups. Snack is served approximately 2:30 to 3:30. Please let us know ahead of time if your child is not permitted to have any types of food due to allergies or religious beliefs. Food may only be sent from home if your child has a special diet under a doctor's order or religious beliefs. See below. Special diets. For any allergy requiring epinephrine, with the exception of nut allergies, the family must provide all meals during the times when the child is in attendance. For all other allergies, the family will be required to meet with the center director to develop a plan for meeting the needs of the child. The plan will first be approved by our corporate team, then signed by the center director and family prior to implementation. Families will not receive any tuition discounts if required to provide their own meals. We will provide meals for all children with nut allergies. We strive to maintain a nut-free facility. However, please be aware that items in the kitchen and served to the classrooms may have been processed on machinery that also processes tree nuts. If the child cannot eat products processed on machinery that also processes tree nuts, the family will be required to provide all meals during the time when the child is in attendance. Any child with allergies must have all required Barrington School and ODJFS paperwork completed prior to enrollment and must renew the paperwork when requested or annually. Each parent and family understands, acknowledges, and accepts that by enrolling their child in Barrington School, the child may come into contact with an allergen and/or substance. While Barrington School follows all required protocols, Barrington School shall not be held responsible, and the parents shall indemnify, save, and hold Barrington School harmless for any consequences that occur if your child comes into contact with any allergen or substances that could affect your child adversely. Infant food. Barrington School provides single ingredient baby food and iron fortified infant cereal. Menus for provided infant meals are available for your review until the age of 12 months. Once your child is 12 months, we highly encourage all families to have transitioned their child onto Barrington School's traditional menu. Please speak with the center director for specific information about the food provided at Barrington School. Parents of infants who do not wish to participate in the planned infant menu can provide their own food through the child's first birthday. Food and bottles must be prepared at home in safe and sanitary containers. Bottles must have proper fitting lids to prevent contamination. All bottles and food must be labeled with the child's name and date of preparation. All bottles containing breast milk must be labeled with the date of extraction and the date of preparation. All feeding instructions must be documented on written infant care plan. Parents must provide 1 can of ready-made formula or frozen breast milk along with 1 clean and sanitized bottle in case of an emergency situation. If you choose to breastfeed at the school, please speak with the center director for a space to breastfeed. Birthdays and special celebrations. Children are invited to celebrate their birthdays at school. Children enjoy sharing this special day with their friends and teachers. If parents choose to bring a birthday treat, it must be pre-packaged and peanut and nut free, no homemade treats, and organic. Please notify the center director and the teacher ahead of time so we can plan for allergies and prepare for this special event. USDA. Meals are available to all enrolled participants without regard to race, color, national origin, sex, age, or disability, and will be served at no separate charge. The U.S. Department of Agriculture prohibits discrimination against its customers, employees, and applicants for employment on the basis of race, color, national origin, age, disability, sex, gender identity, religion, reprisal, and, where applicable, political beliefs, marital status, familial or parental status, sexual orientation, or all or part of an individual's income is derived from any public assistance program or protected genetic information in employment or in any program or activity conducted or funded by the department. Not all prohibited bases will apply to all programs and/or employment activities. If you wish to file a civil rights program complaint of discrimination, complete the USDA Program Discrimination Complaint Form found online at that website or at any USDA office, or call 1-866-632 9992 to request the form. You may also write a letter containing all of the information requested in the form. Send your completed complaint form or letter to us by mail at U.S. Department of Agriculture, Director, Office of Adjunction, 1400 Independence Avenue, Southwest, Washington, D.C. 202509410, by fax at 202-690-7442, or email at program.intake@usda.gov. Individuals who are deaf, hard of hearing, or have speech disabilities may contact USDA through the Federal Relay Service at 800-877-8339 or 800-845-6136. USDA is an equal opportunity provider and employer. Safety. Barrington School takes the responsibility of your child's safety very seriously. We feel that the safety of the children in our care is the responsibility of everyone involved, including center directors, staff members, and parents. Children are never left alone or unattended. Staff members are trained in safety policies and emergency procedures. In the following section of the handbook, we will inform you of our safety policies. We will also outline the procedures we will follow in an emergency situation. Toys from home. Our schools strive to meet all health, safety, and developmental needs of children. Only age-appropriate, non-toxic materials are used in our schools. Please do not send toys from home to school with your child. Past experience has shown us toys from home create many problems at school. Teachers may request that items such as family photos, books, or cultural items be brought in occasionally for theme-related activities or shared days. Infant sleep position. Infants will be placed on their backs to sleep. Infant care. Allow infants to safely and comfortably sit, crawl, toddle, walk, and play according to the infant's stage of development. Each infant will be removed from the crib, swing, infant seat, exercise seat, or other equipment throughout the day for individual attention. Provide each non-crawling infant the opportunity for tummy time each day. Maintain a daily electronic record for each infant that is provided to the infant's parents via email. Each infant shall be removed from his or her crib for all feedings. Infants shall be held or fed sitting up for bottled feedings. At no time shall a bottle be propped for an infant. Infants' diapers will be checked every 2 to 3 hours unless otherwise instructed by parent, but not to exceed every 3 hours. Injury procedures. An incident or injury report shall be completed by the staff member in charge of the child and copy given to whomever picks up that night when the following occurs: an illness, accident, or injury which requires first aid treatment, a bump or blow to the head, emergency transporting, an unusual or unexpected event which jeopardizes the safety of children or staff. In case of a severe injury that requires immediate medical treatment, staff will call 911. Parents or guardians will be notified immediately if this occurs. In the event of a physical accident or emergency illness, Barrington School has your permission to administer as it sees fit for the child's best interest. Barrington School's insurance coverage is designed to work with your personal health insurance. If the expenses for an accident are less than $100, Barrington School's policy will pay 100%. Expenses incurred over the initial $100 will be the responsibility of child's family or the child's health insurance carrier. Extreme emergency situations concerning your child. Serious incident, injury, or illness includes any situation occurring while a child is in care of the school that requires emergency medical treatment or professional consultation or transportation for emergency treatment. It is extremely important that we have current information in your child's enrollment file. We will need to contact you if your child becomes ill or an emergency occurs. If a parent cannot make it to the school prior to the transport of a child by an emergency squad, a staff member will accompany the child in the squad. All pertinent data and health record information will be transported with the child. We will not enroll a child without permission to transport in a medical emergency. We will not transport your child by any means other than emergency squad. You are only giving us permission to give the emergency squad permission to transport. For any serious incident, the school will log into oclqs.force.com by the next business day to report the incident and complete the JFS 01156 Serious Incident Reporting for Child Care. This notification does not replace reporting to the Public Children's Services Agency if there are concerns of child abuse and neglect, as required by Rule 5101 to 1219 of the Administrative Code. We also require are required to notify caretakers when a serious risk noncompliance is cited in an inspection report. The notification requirements are outlined in Rule 5101-21203 of the Ohio Administrative Code for Child Care Centers and Rule 5101-21303 OAC for Family Child Care Programs. Safety inspections and emergency drills. Schools are inspected regularly by licensing, fire, and health department personnel. Our staff members also conduct internal safety inspections. Emergency procedures and evacuation plans are posted in each classroom, which explains actions to be taken by the staff in these situations. Each staff member must take the accurate attendance outside to account for each group. Fire drills are conducted monthly, weather drills are conducted monthly during the months of March through September, and lockdown drills are conducted quarterly so children are familiar with procedures for evacuation. General emergency situations. The safety of your child is top priority for Barrington School. General emergencies include any threats to the safety of children due to environmental situations or threats of violence, natural disasters such as fire, tornado, flood, etc., loss of power, heat, or water. In this situation, the school will follow the directions on our general emergency plan. If the building cannot be occupied, they will go to the designated emergency shelter, which is listed on the school location page. In the event a shelter-in-place order from authorities should occur, procedures are in place to assure the safety of children and staff. Your child will be cared for by their routine staff members whenever possible to promote continuity of care. Once the shelter-in-place order is lifted by authorities, you may pick up your child. No child will be released to any parent or guardian until this order is lifted. In the event of orders to evacuate the school, we will contact local authorities for evacuation instructions. Once at the evacuation site, parents or guardians will be contacted to pick up their child or children. Permission to interview with media and release to photograph and videotape. In consideration for the opportunity to participate in and appear in media, including press and television interviews, photographs, digital images, and videotape images, I hereby grant to Barrington Schools the absolute and irrevocable royalty-free right and permission with respect to any film, still photograph, or digital image taken of me and or my child, to reproduce, broadcast, rebroadcast, and otherwise transmit and publish, and license others to do so throughout the world, the images in whole or in part, individually or in conjunction with other recorded materials in any medium, whether now known or hereinafter invented, and for any purpose, including but not limited to presentations associated with the educational, training, or marketing purposes of Barrington Schools. To use my name, likeness, and program affiliation information concerning me in connection therewith, if Barrington School chooses to do so. To edit my appearance as Barrington School deems appropriate, I hereby waive any right that I may have to inspect or approve the images, their use, or any printed or audio matter that may be used with them, and release and discharge Barrington School and its officers, directors, employees, contractors, agents, and any designees from any and all claims and demands arising out of or in connection with the use of the images, including but not limited to any claims for defamation or invasion of privacy. I understand and acknowledge that Barrington School reserves the right to use or not use the images at its sole discretion. Other safety precautions. All children will be supervised at all times by a staff member. Attendance will be taken upon the arrival and departure of each child. Staff members will be responsible for the safety of the children within the group. Phones are located in the office for emergency calls. Intercoms are located in each classroom for quick communication. The use of aerosols shall be prohibited when children are in the school. There will always be at least one staff member trained in CPR, certified in first aid, communicable disease, and child abuse at all times. Please make us aware of any unusual accidents or injuries that occur at home. As per ODGFS rules and regulations, staff members are mandated reporters and are required by law to report to Children Protective Services if they suspect or know that child abuse is occurring. If the staff is not sure they have enough information to report, they are to always err on the safety of the child. Children's Services screens all reports to determine if there is enough information to investigate. Parents are not required to be notified by the Barrington School staff if a call to Children Protective Services has been made. The Ohio Revised Code states that no person shall knowingly possess, have under the person's control, convey, or attempt to convey a deadly weapon or dangerous ordinance in Barrington School unless otherwise authorized by law. School-age children. Staff members conduct a child count at arrival and departure time for all children. Parents are to notify the school if their child's schedule and any change. It is mandatory for school-age parents to notify the school if their child or children will not be in attendance for the day. This is especially important for our transportation safety. Failure to abide by this policy could mean disenrollment of your child. In the event that a child has not arrived off the school bus, van, or other outside program other than the child's home at the expected time, the school will take the following actions. Contact school or outside program, contact parents. School-age children must be fully potty trained. They are permitted to use the restroom alone or run errands inside the building in groups of no more than 6 children within sight or hearing of an adult. In the event of a delay or cancellation of school, our school is staffed accordingly to provide for those school-age children enrolled at our school. Bus and transportation policy. Transportation is available for school-age children only to and from local elementary schools. Consult your center director regarding the schools serviced. The school system provides yellow bus service, plus most of our schools have a bus for transporting children during routine trips. Written parent or guardian permission is required for routine trips. There will be a zero tolerance for disruptive behavior on Barrington School's bus during transport. Guidance and Behavior Management Policy. The Guidance and Behavior Management Policy was established with the knowledge that children need clear limits, which are set in ways that do not negatively influence their self-esteem or keep them from developing. We believe that all our children should experience success. Using conscious discipline in our classroom provides the children with opportunities to explore within consistent age-appropriate limits. In general, limits are set to keep a child from hurting him or herself, to keep a child from hurting others, or to keep a child from infringing on others' property. Limits are set positively. Each age group has similar needs for limits, but useful techniques vary with the child's developmental level. If behavioral issues occur, our philosophy is to enable the child to learn human values and take responsibility for their own actions. We strive to minimize behavioral issues while creating a positive environment for all the children. All staff members are trained in appropriate supervision and are expected to follow these guidelines. The techniques used below apply to all staff members and parents while they are at the school. Classroom management. Supervision is consistently maintained. Set reasonable standards for children's behavior based on the developmental levels. Become familiar with that child's special needs. Provide challenging age-appropriate experiences. Appropriate behavior will be reinforced. Techniques used to correct inappropriate behavior. Verbal intervention. This technique should be used when disciplining the child. Our staff member will model appropriate ways to handle the situation and give the child tools to utilize in the future. For example, a staff member will encourage the child to verbalize their frustration to another child instead of reacting physically. Redirection and choices. We will offer the child choices, suggest a different toy or a new activity to a child who is engaged in an undesirable behavior. The idea of giving the child choices is to empower them to engage in a more calming situation. Teachable moments. In a moment of frustration, the staff member will work with the child to teach how to better handle the situation. For example, if a child throws a block, first the staff member will relate the action to classroom safety. Next, the staff will walk the child over to get the block and then model appropriate block play. Praise for appropriate behavior. This technique should be used all the time. In using this technique, you will be giving the child attention for appropriate behavior and reinforcement for positive actions. Calming strategies. The staff member will assist the child in utilizing calming techniques. Examples would be using the safe place or practicing breathing techniques. A safe place could be a designated area in the classroom with calming toys, pillows, a staff's lap, etc. Biting. Biting is a behavior that we at Barrington School take very seriously. Most bites occur in the toddler and older infant classrooms. It is not unheard of for a preschooler to bite in some situations. Children bite because it feels good on maturing teeth and gums. Biting brings an immediate response from the victim. Children explore through their senses. Toddlers and older infants are in an oral fixation stage of development. Children see biting as a means to get what they want. Before language skills are perfected, children communicate physically. Barrington School takes a proactive approach to biting. We are constantly improving our classrooms and staff training to create a comfortable, stress-free learning environment. Barrington School staff members engage in play with children rather than watching from afar. Recognize signs of frustration and intervene when tempers flare. Encourage children to communicate feelings verbally and with gentle touches. Ask administration to help observe and make recommendations. Plan activities that stimulate language and the explanation of feelings. Give alternative outlets for biting behaviors. Focus on children who are going through a biting stage. Once a child bites, Barrington School staff members respond immediately by consoling the victim. This gives the victim the desired attention that the biter may be seeking. Wash the affected area with soap and water and apply ice. Watch the bite closely for the next few hours. Examine the situation in which the bite occurred in an effort to identify the cause. Document and inform parents of the victim and the biter. If the child is a reoccurring biter, Barrington School may request a conference with the parents to begin to create an action plan. Understand that with any inappropriate behavior, the identity of all children will be kept confidential. Guidelines for persistent inappropriate behavior. Persistent inappropriate behavior is any behavior that continues after the proper guidance steps have been performed. The following procedure will occur if the child continues to break the rules and guidelines of our program. We'll use these progressive procedures. Written observations and records of the child's behavior will be kept. Parent-teacher conference will be conducted if the child's inappropriate behavior continues. For further guidance, the center director may suggest outside resources to help the child's behavior. If inappropriate behavior continues, the child will be placed on probation. If the inappropriate behavior still persists, the child will be placed on suspension. The parent may be asked to keep the child at home for 3 to 5 days. If the inappropriate behavior persists after the child is sent home on suspension, we will request that the parents withdraw the child from the school. If a behavior is to cause harm to the other children, staff, self, or other personnel in the building, the child may be immediately disenrolled from the program without following the steps listed above. The guidance and management policies will apply to all staff members of the school that are on the premises. Parent and staff policies. Parents are always welcome at Barrington School and shall check into the office to report their presence. Stop in, visit your child, and join us in the activities anytime. We believe parents are the most significant adults in a child's life. We do everything possible to promote your involvement in our programs. Developing methods for keeping communication flowing freely is an important part of each staff member's responsibility. Your input is important to us. Staff members are available to discuss a child's progress or needs at any time. However, due to staff responsibilities and schedules, parents are asked to make appointments with staff when it is necessary to engage in any lengthy conversations. Staff want to be able to focus on you and your child at these times. Please feel free to bring up concerns when they occur. Often they can be addressed when they are little problems before they grow into bigger problems. Any general problems or concerns by parent or staff should be addressed to the center director. They will set up a meeting with all concerned. If there is no resolution, the next step would be to contact the corporate office. We want you to have a clear communication system within the school and beyond. We seek your active involvement in the school's program, particularly in following your child's progress. Barrington School can offer assessments periodically to be completed by the parent or the school. We encourage you to attend parent-teacher conferences and open house events. Grievance policy. If you have a concern or problem, please notify immediately in writing the center director. The center director will arrange to have a discussion with you about your concern or problem. If the concern or problem is not rectified to your satisfaction after the discussion with the center director, please notify the corporate office of the nature of the concern or problem. A corporate representative will address the concern or problem and advise you of Barrington School's decision, which shall be final. Policy changes. The Parent Staff Policies and Procedures Handbook has been written for parents and staff to promote an understanding of the current programs, policies, and procedures of Barrington School. Please understand that childcare business is continually changing. Therefore, there may be times that we have to change policies, procedures, or program with little or no notice. Barrington School does reserve the right to modify or change the policies, procedures, or programs at any time. This handbook shall not be construed as a contract between Barrington School and any of its customers, children, or staff members. Waiver and release of liability. In consideration of the risk of health, injury, and potential death that can occur from coronavirus, I am choosing to remain bringing my child or children to the daycare facility for the company to provide daycare for my family. I hereby, for myself, my child, and/or children, my executors, administrators, assigns, or personal representatives, hereinafter collectively the releaser, I or me, which term shall also include releaser's parent or guardian if releaser is under 18 years of age, knowingly and voluntarily enter into this waiver and release of liability, and hereby waive any and all rights, claims, and causes of action of any kind arising out of my child and or children attending daycare at the company's daycare facility during the coronavirus issues before us. And I hereby release and forever discharge Consolidated Learning Centers and or the Barrington School, affiliated entities, managers, members, agents, attorneys, staff, volunteers, representatives, successors, and assigns, collectively releasers, from any physical or psychological injury that I and or my child and or children may suffer as a result of my participation in my choosing to send my child or children to the daycare facility. The activity in which I am participating is my voluntary choice to send my child or children to the daycare facility for daycare as needed. I am voluntarily participating in this activity, and I am participating in this activity entirely at my own risk. I am aware of the risks associated with participating in this activity, which may include but are not limited to physical or psychological injury, pain, suffering, illness, temporary or permanent disability, economic or emotional loss, and or death, all related to the coronavirus. I understand that these injuries or outcomes may arise from my own choices. I am choosing to send my child or children to the daycare facility for daycare purposes. I further agree to indemnify, defend, and hold harmless the releases against any and all claims, suits, or actions of any kind whatsoever for liability, damages, compensation, or otherwise brought by me or anyone on my behalf, including attorney fees and any related costs. I hereby acknowledge that I have carefully read this waiver and release and fully understand that it is a release of liability. I expressly agree to release and discharge releases from any and all claims or causes of action, and I agree to voluntarily give up or waive any right that I otherwise have to bring a legal action against the releases for personal injury, property damage, or death. If you have any questions specific to this training, please email info@barringtonschool.com. Someone from our corporate office will be in touch soon to answer your questions.